Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Princess Peach Showtime. We're finally done with the detective. Yay!
Yay!
Time.
Is that the last time we'll see the detective?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the last one. You came back just in time to see the longest one.
I love when I skip the parts that nobody likes talking about.
What do you get for clearing all these basement rooms?
You have to do them to get the final boss.
Sorry. I was looking at that picture of the ninja, and for some reason, I wasn't seeing it as, like, the back of the ninja hood and him holding the kunai. I thought that was his hair, and that he had the pointy hairstyle from Dilbert. And I was very
I saw an onion-shaped head.
I was very confused for a moment.
I wasn't even looking, and now I'm curious what you guys were seeing.
Well, I don't know if it'll be as applicable once the full color
That's fair.
goes in, but you know, we'll see.
We'll probably have a shot of the door when Ryan's finished for this.
True. I need to make a mental note.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it was kind of what I saw then, because I'm looking at the style of the hoodie that the ninja in need of help is wearing, and it is kind of onion shaped.
It's got that duck butt.
I'm not a studier of duck butts, if that's the official scientific term.
It is. You should be an avid studier of duck butts. It'll bring you joy in life. I'll just tell you that right now. Have you ever seen a duck wag its tail? It's very cute.
I'll just get high.
I get intimidated when I see ducks walk towards me. At my old work, there is a pond not too far from where it was. So when it was nice outside, I would go and eat my lunch on a bench by the pond. But there were a group of ducks that lived by the pond, and they were aggressive assholes, and they'd just walk forward menacingly, and I'd be like, I can't do anything about these.
I know it was more of I think it was a goose than a duck. But I remember like that being like a central focus on like an early Rugrats episode, the one that like was like stalking or harassing Tommy and Chucky and stole Grandpa Lou's teeth.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking is like,
Yeah.
why do they have such a vendetta against geese? And then I learned that geese and ducks can just kind of be pricks.
Yeah, they are.
I don't remember that episode of Rugrats.
What do you remember, Ted?
I remember the episode where they go to some office building and Tommy walks over a keyboard and then causes a stock market crash because he presses the buttons that tell people to sell their stocks and buy their stocks, which is interesting.
I wonder if that was both. I mean, that's also like it's obviously it's an adult oriented joke about how fickle the stock market is. But I also wonder if that was like a Trading Places reference too.
Quite possibly.
Then the kid's gonna ask, "What are they talking about?" And the mom or dad has to talk to them about Trading Places, and then they watch Trading Places, and clearly not meant for kids.
I think my favorite Rugrats joke that I can remember is I think Tommy and Chucky are having a dream that they're grown-ups, and so they're doing what their dad does for work, and so Chucky's dad says he's a paper pusher, and so when Chucky
literally pushing paper,
he has a broom and he's pushing paper.
That's right, yeah.
And that was like one of those ones I didn't quite get as a kid, but then now that I'm older, I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty great. As opposed to them being like, oh, pee pee poo poo, diaper joke, baby.
I don't think I can go back and watch Rugrats.
I have not gone back to it in a long time. I probably could, because we have Paramount Plus. I think they have pretty much all the Nickelodeon shows on that. So if I really wanted to, I could.
That's like comparatively speaking to like other Nicktoons that you grew up watching. I feel I probably struggle the most watching Rugrats, despite loving Rugrats to death as a kid.
Is there
Rugrats
any particular
was more
reason?
About vibes.
I think it's because like Rugrats had a good dose of adult humor that I found funny even then, but I just think about all the like the more the physical slapstick, the yucks, the baby centric humor. I just don't think I'd jive as much as
No,
with
that
as I
makes
might have
sense
used to,
because
like,
I feel
30 years ago.
similar. Like, I'm curious about the jokes that I would pick up on now versus when I was a kid. But like,
Yeah.
I think like that the baby centric humor probably annoys me a lot more now that I'm older than it did when I was, of the age that it was kind of geared toward.
Like it's kind of weird because comparatively speaking, at the time of this commentary recording, the new Dragon Ball series just started, Daima, and a big part of that was most of the casts were wished to become children again, and the kids were transformed into babies, and it's kind of like this underlying fear that I have, where it's like, I hope it's not Dragon Ball with just more juvenile humor like OG Dragon Ball was.
Yeah, no, the first, I mean, I like OG Dragon Ball enough, but the first arc can be a little tough because it's not even really that they're jokes. It's just kind of like, look, Master Roshi's a pervert. Her. It's like, it's not really funny. It's just awkward because you remember Bulma's like literally 15 years old or something like that. And then you're like, oh yeah, that's awkward.
I'm so tired, boss.
Yeah. And it's kind of the same thing. Like, I think there are hints of that. Like, my favorite joke from the first arc of Dragon Ball is, oh god, I don't remember their names. But Oolong and Yamcha's cat guy, who can both transform, is when they both transform into the people they're hanging around, and they're both terrible transformations, but they're both fooled anyway. Like, that was one of my favorite jokes from the early Dragon Ball. And you see, and it gets more clever and less her the longer it goes. Which I suppose, if we're being real fair, is true for most comedy series, which is why there's so much, oh yeah, you need to start on season 2 whenever anyone recommends anything to anybody.
Right.
Ever. And then I'll be stubborn and start on season 1
I see the onion
anyway.
head.
Yeah, that's what I saw at a glance, and I wasn't entirely sure what I was looking at. And then I saw like the metal band. I'm assuming it's a metal band on the front that usually I see a lot of ninja attire.
Yeah.
Go ninja, go.
Believe it.
No, I don't watch One Piece.
I was going for Naruto. That made me die a little inside, dude.
It's kind of a joke that I do. Like, when someone references another shonen that's not Dragon Ball, I will just call it the wrong fucking thing.
I just you made me crumble inside. My soul died.
I don't know. Like, I'm only 37, but I feel like I'm so deep into Dragon Ball as like one of the big shonens who watch that I can't commit the time to watch another long running like anime like Naruto or One Piece or Bleach.
See, this is how you know we're old, because Dragon Ball isn't even the shonen anymore. I think, like, if you were gonna talk to most whippersnappers nowadays, they'd be like, oh yeah, you mean like My Hero Academia?
That ended.
Yeah, but
Wait,
it only
did
ended
it?
like a year or two ago, though, right?
Yeah, it ended.
Wait, it's done?
Yeah, it ended like last month.
In the anime form or manga form?
Manga anime has one last like half season left, coming out next year.
Oh my god, I didn't
Well,
know.
I might actually pick it up and try it again, because now that I know that it has a definitive end, that's I'm not kidding when I say that's an incentive. When I know that something has a definitive end, I will make the time for it.
No, same. I actually really enjoyed My Hero Academia. I like it a lot. But I just time
Yeah.
and
also-
not being sure how long it's gonna go.
It's also, for me, catching up with something that's ongoing sucks. I absolutely hate going from the binge watching model to the waiting model. If it's one or the other and I'm doing it the entire time, that's fine. I can live with that, because like, if I'm used to waiting a week for an episode or a chapter or whatever to come out, then I'll wait the week, whatever. If I can go through the whole thing all at once, then I'll go through the whole thing all at once. What I hate doing is being used to going through the whole thing all at... Yo, invincibility frames, we love that.
Nice.
What I hate is like being able to watch like 5 or 6 seasons all at once, and then suddenly I have to wait a week in between episodes, like everybody else. The worst. I hate it. Can't stand it.
I don't know. I think it depends. Like, because to me, watching something new that's weekly, the show itself is only part of the adventure. It's also sharing that viewing experience with others at the same time, too. The discussions that are had with that.
Yeah, I agree
know.
there.
Because we're again, to mention Diamond again, that just started. I'm watching that when it releases on Crunchyroll. Just like I did Super. Now, Super, I thought was pretty fucking mid, like all things considered.
Indeed.
But I still genuinely enjoyed tuning in every Saturday night to watch a new episode because I felt like a kid again. Like I felt like I was back on Toonami watching new episodes of Dragon Ball Z when it was being aired.
I think for me, it's like I have a tendency to binge. Like that's what I do most often is that I'll just sit there and I'll binge a show until I'm done with it. But I almost feel like that has that makes me not remember anything because I'll watch a show for a week and be done versus if I have to like wait for a weekly release, then I have time to digest, commit it to memory, and then see the next part later. And it's almost like when I binge a show, I find myself forgetting what the show even was, maybe like a few months later.
You might have something going there because, well, it's not anime, or maybe, depends on who you ask. I think of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Breaking Bad, I binged to hell and back from beginning to end. Loved it to death. One of my favorite television shows ever. Better Call Saul, though, I watched when it was newly released, weekly. I love Better Call Saul a lot more than I do Breaking Bad.
Right.
And there's a lot more of Better Call Saul than I do remember than Breaking Bad, even despite loving both shows.
Yeah.
And I think a part of it was just because of how I viewed both programs.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense to me because it really is just like if you binge it, then you're taking in so much information all at once in a short span of time, and you're gonna pick and choose, only the most memorable moments to commit to your brain, I guess. But if you have it trickle feed like for weeks at a time, and it takes months to even finish the series, then hey, you're thinking about that show for months as opposed to just like a week.
I think it's a matter of commitment because, ironically, when you're binging something, it's less of a commitment. You're not staying as engaged with that property for as much pure time. Like obviously you spend the same amount of time watching the show, but like you guys said, it's the community aspect of it, and like thinking about it when you're at work or whatever.
We're discussing it with friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that is a genuine part of the journey that I love.
That's also one of the things about why I always prefer to play games new when I can, because obviously if you wait, you can usually get a game used a good amount cheaper, but then you miss the experience of being part of the community and the discussion.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I relate there. I say as someone who very rarely gets to play something new, but but I always have fun with the community aspect and seeing, social media blowing up about it, having all the opinions out there, and then just, seeing where everyone's at.
I don't think Zelda Tears of the Kingdom would have stuck with me as much if I didn't see people posting on Twitter their stupid Korok torture machines because people are sociopaths.
Oh, dude, I literally just yesterday found a Korok plushie that is like the actual with the backpack and on its back.
I
bought it immediately.
Did you stick them to like your fridge and then throw your fridge down a crater?
I thought about it. I definitely thought about it, but instead I offered him up as a sacrifice in the cat tower. So now my cats can like scratch him up.
I have to find my friend.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, anyway, y'all are
gamers are
sociopaths.
Look, whenever I did anything with the Koroks, it was just because it was efficient. Like, you can attach a halter to your horse and like drag things.
Oh yeah, no, I did that too, and then he
just...
would bump around, but I felt terrible because he was like going oof 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 as you're walking, and then I think at one point he hit a rock and then careened down a like a trench, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh no!
I'm never beating the allegations for this one, Ted. Oh, I did it again.
I gave you my heart. I thought. So, is
this a race?
No,
Oh, okay. I thought it was a race.
we're escaping with him.
Oh, escaping together. Okay.
oh my god, that is just Joker's outfit though. Like,
Looks nothing like Joker from Batman. Ted.
well, you see, I know nobody watched the sequel to the Joker, so this is actually what happens.
So is that movie now the new Morbius? Is that Morbius too?
Yes.
Oh god.
Because
Morbius.
I heard it did awful box office wise.
It's honestly surprising considering that the first one did do fairly well, but I guess people are just tired of that shit.
It's two things. From my perspective, it's two things. One, that's a movie that didn't need a sequel in the first place. I think it was fine on standalone. Two, a lot of folks didn't know it was a musical. But that's more on them because they just didn't pay attention to the promotions. Because every promotion will tell you that movie was going to be a fucking musical.
They got Lady Gaga to be in it. You think they're not going to have her sing?
Either way, it's done terrible.
Yep.
And it's like, I mean, I can't say I feel bad because I didn't really think this movie needed a sequel in the first place. And it's just kind of whatever. I'm hoping they just
The new
stick to
Superman
what
movie looks
they
good.
like. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the new Superman.
Yes.
You see they have Crypto the Superdog? He looks great. He's a good boy.
That's the James Gunn is directing that.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got pretty good faith in that one because James Gunn generally seems to know what he's doing when it comes to making movies. Save Suicide Squad for me, so.
Yep.
Listen, I just kind of don't think Suicide Squad needed to be a movie. So,
Well, the second
You know,
one
I don't
Gunn
know.
did was
Not the
really
first-
good. So
Yeah, the second one, The Suicide Squad, was great. That is a genuinely great movie. The first one, get away, burn it.
Wow, how many times is the sequel better than the original?
Well, it depends. Terminator 2, I like a lot more than Terminator 1.
Oh, interesting.
People would argue Aliens is better than the first Alien.
depending on what you like, yeah.
Spy Kids 2 is definitely better than Spy Kids 1.
That's true.
I don't remember anything about Spy Kids.
If we're keeping it to superheroes, Dark Knight is better than Batman Begins. And
Spider-Man 2 is usually considered better than Spider-Man 1.
I'll debate that.
Yeah, honestly, I don't have much. The Raimi movies, I think, have not aged particularly well at all. But I think the first one holds up better than the second one. But
I still enjoy the first two movies. The third one is a struggle.
I have not gone back to watch Spider-Man 3 in a long time. So
We should probably keep the superhero discussion for the next part, though.
ooh, maybe.
We can easily carry a part just talking about shit no one cares about.
Oh, that's the BrainScratch way.
Absolutely. Anyway, see you guys next week for Princess Peach.